Okay, there's a legitimate question about the parade route. Could there be an attempt to block it? The hundreds of thousands who will descend on D.C. to watch the spectacle may have protesters among them. It's part of the same unrelenting backlash that caused Broadway star Jennifer Holliday to pull out of her planned performance after facing a tidal wave of criticism from both the African-American community and the LGBT communities. And then you've got actor Zoe Saldana, remember her of Avatar fame, getting blowback after she said Trump won because Hollywood became arrogant bullies. Then you had Nicole Kidman getting attacked for saying in a democracy, it's simple, support the American president. And now this. 30 Democratic congressmen have announced they will skip Trump's inauguration in light of the president-elect's comments of Georgia Congressman John Lewis, who said that Donald Trump's presidency was illegitimate. I'm joined now by somebody who's actually pulled off inaugurations, Ambassador Howard Gutman, trustee of President Obama's inaugural committee and former ambassador to Belgium. Reach back 8 years ago. Did you have some of this drama? Because, of course, there were people who were unhappy with the election of President Obama.
I think this is qualitatively different, partly because we haven't had a candidate who got 46% of the vote in a while and who's created this much controversy, and partly because of the nature of President-elect Trump with his tweets and the like. It would be important to focus on bringing the country together. And if you start doing arm wrestling with John Lewis, if you start doing arm wrestling with Meryl Streep, you are distracting from the mission that needs to be done, and
okay,
you're just
but to be fair, Ambassador, they started it. Listen, we're not in a playground atmosphere here, so I don't mean to sound like that. But you know, you had Meryl Streep giving her speech. You had John Lewis coming out and questioning the legitimacy of Donald Trump as president when he won multiple counties in John Lewis's state of Georgia. And so,
Liz, when you're talking about the president, it's not a who started it. You're talking about we don't have to have lessons in maturity. This man's going to lead the free world. We're depending on him to stare down China, to stare down Russia, not to get in battles with the cast of Hamilton or with Meryl Streep or anyone else, but to rise above, unite the country. And there's only so much Kellyanne Conway can do to say, pay no attention to what he's saying. It's what is in his heart. We're going to have to hire cardiologists to figure out where to go.
Okay, well, I'll tell you one thing that we did pay attention to what he's saying, and he said it over the weekend once again, that NATO is just a money suck for the United States. He doesn't believe that it is effective. However, that seems in opposite comments that his own Secretary of State or Defense Secretary James Mad Dog Mattis has said, who supports NATO. What happens here? And the NATO model, does it have to change at least slightly to mollify everybody?
So, as in most comments that he takes too far, NATO needs to continue to modernize. They need to recognize the future challenges, and there are conferences every year working on those challenges, adding terror, adding North Korea, adding the South China Sea issues and the like. But fundamentally, again, the leader of the free world cannot say to people, particularly with Russia there, you know what, let's undermine NATO, and while we're at it, let's relax the sanctions on Russia. It is difficult at this time when Saturday Night Live makes a living talking about his bromance, when there's conspiracy theorists about a Manchurian candidate, when there's a view that Russia has blackmail material. The president needs to do better than to make people believe there's some sense behind all of this nonsense by saying the things that will reassure people. NATO needs to be modernized, but it is not obsolete, and Russia needs to know we are standing with our allies.
Okay, as we go, Ambassador Gutman, if invited, and you've been a diplomat and certainly working in the world of politics, would you go to the inauguration?
Of course I would go to the inauguration. I am an American. He is a fairly elected president. The fact that there are proper criticisms about the president doesn't mean we don't do everything we can to make America great together. I believe it's great right now and continue to make it great. I'm just saying the criticism of the shortcomings is an effort to get us consistently in the right direction. This isn't an us against them. We are all we, but we need a we that's led in the right way.
Howard, thank you very much. Look, if for nothing else, the free food. I mean, this is just an easy choice for somebody like me.
All the best.
Just go for the food. Howard Gutman, former ambassador to Belgium.